And also I'm working full time. So it's really hard for me not able to have the studio space to concentrate.
Yep.
Because I used to work downtown, and then Walnut wasn't too far from it. So when I'm finished work, I would go there and then paint. But right now it's kind of difficult. After work, I go home and then do my chores, cooking, cleaning. Then I'm tired. So it's like I think it takes more motivation to set up the space at home to paint again. Like I'm trying to keep doing it. Right now I'm doing mostly like drawing or like small painting just to
Do you have
so
somewhere?
I'm like still doing art so I don't forget about it, so I don't abandon it. That's kind of, you know, one step at a time, doing something small.
Do you have somewhere at home? Obviously, given the circumstances now, it creates a whole other dynamic, right, of people staying at home and whatever. Do you have somewhere in your space that you could set up something to be able to be painting?
I don't know if you caught that at the beginning of the video. I actually just moved to this new place. That's why it's currently empty. So I'm still in the middle of setting it up. So it's a pretty big space. There's an empty room here. So hoping to set up a studio. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay,
and
good.
also like this COVID thing is actually helping me to get back on track in art.
Good.
I'm actually working from home right now, so that helps me. That gives me time to spare to you know, focus at home, focus to do art again.
Cool, right on. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just have a tip to offer as far as time management. I have a full-time job too, and I'm way too tired after work. Like I'm done with life.
Really,
like I'm done. So what I actually do is get up a couple of hours earlier and do it in the morning. And if you're at all a morning person, this might work.
Nope.
Definitely not for everyone, but I am a morning person, and I find like I'm fresh, my brain is completely rested, and I can actually really rock out for a couple of hours and then go to work and not worry about it. And like I've done this for the last maybe 3 years.
Michael and I are night owls.
Well, it doesn't really work for me because I work 9 to 5, so I already get up pretty early to go work. So I can't get up 5 a.m. and like paint before I go to work.
I do it too.
And also you have to get dressed and get cleaned up to go to work, right?
But I don't know. I just want to encourage you that you may find something that works for you. Just like it just takes figuring it out. But like I'm a bank employee.
I want to tell them about
Usually I sneak out after everyone is asleep in the house for a couple of hours to just come to my studio.
I kind of don't want to stop because we're connected.
There's an echo.
I got a little bit echo. You would want to just.
So Sophie, you always did acrylic, or you did oil as well? Like you showed both of them.
What's your question? Sorry.
You always did acrylics or oil acrylic mix?
No, I do like either oil or acrylic, but I don't really mix them together on a painting. So I choose like just one medium. So usually it depends on like what I'm trying to achieve. If I working usually not always. If I'm working something bigger, then I like to use oil. And if I'm working something smaller, I like to use acrylic because it dries faster, so I can move faster on a smaller piece.
Okay, are we finished with Sophie? Yeah, sounds like it.
Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophie.
Please leave your Instagram.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I'm doing it right now.
Okay. All right. So can I would like to take this time to introduce Catta Lyst. Is Catta Lyst?
Yeah, it's Catta Lyst.
Hi,
Oh.
Catta.
We can't, I haven't seen you. I can only hear you.
I'm right here. I'm with the colorful shirt.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You can't miss me.
Nope.
Yeah.
I think because I'm using my phone, I only have one view. So whoever is making the most noise, that's what I can see.
Oh, gotcha. So I actually, so I have a lot of, like, I'm a multidisciplinary type of artist. So I do fashion design, I do singing, songwriting, graphic design, visual art. I do all that stuff. But today what I'm going to be talking about is the fact that I take things that I paint. So I do paintings and then I go ahead and I make them into clothes. Like, that's fun.
Nice.
So this one's inspired by kind of like I walked into a thrift shop and I saw this really cool sequence dress that had diamonds on the top of its neckline. Went home, started painting. I did 2 different ones. I don't know if you can tell the one on the top. It's like more of a jewel tone, like a soft pastel-y type of thing. And sorry, this is more of a jewel tone. So yeah, if I stand up, it has this type of effect to it. I do streetwear. So I'll show you guys a couple of outfits and then I'll show you some paintings that I do and then what I would do to them.
Nice.
So here, because my stuff is, I'll just go in it a little bit. It's called Adi, and it's at Adi Clothing on Instagram, and then my other Instagram is Catalyst_list. The Adi shop also has like an online shop, but anyways, so this is one of them. So I went ahead and I saw this, and then I started to go on Adobe, and then I just kind of messed with it, and then I did like a lime green background.
That is sweet. That is awesome.
I don't know if you could see it. It's a picture of lace, but it's not lace, just a picture of it. So it gives off an effect of that. And then the other one, I'm just going to show you a bunch. So this one is like a really cool tunic. So it could be worn, like all my stuff is unisex. So I was inspired by neon signs. So I went and I did that. So I inverted it. This one is the brand name shirt. It's like a velour and it's like really, really yellow. And the last one I'm going to show is this one. It's a painting I did. And I did the exact same neon thing on the back. So I've actually showcased my work at New York Fashion Week and also at Vancouver Fashion Week. I've done a lot of stuff here too. I've done some pop-ups. Also, what I've done is I've kind of, along with my fashion line, I've actually done some discussion type of events. So what will happen is I'll showcase the fashion, like whatever the season is, and then we go into music. So we showcase a bunch of musical artists, and then we go into a discussion. So last time the discussion was on cultural appropriation. And it was right after Justin Trudeau did the blackface. So it was just like perfect. I was like, okay, cool, let's talk about this. And I was gonna have another one right now, but because of all this. And then the next one I had, what I was supposed to have was how society controls women's bodies. And yeah, so I really like to talk about taboo topics. But anyways, let me show you some of my artwork. And this is the stuff that I did this week. So I did this one, right? And I would make this into one of these because this is like screaming sweatshirt to me. Because what I do is it's basically like more of a streetwear, street style type of fusion. And I always like to fuse cultures together as well. So this is another one. And I love neon and I love color and that's all I do. And I should get 2 more. So this one I did it kind of for like, I don't know if so when I look at this, right, I see like a whole collection. So if I go this way, then I can see like a little rose here. if I go like here, I can see a full dress, like the colors and all that stuff. Here, you can tell that there's more like a wooden type of earthy type of vibe here. So that could be like a whole color palette. But this is actually it's kind of a portrait about me and my partner. So it's like we're totally different people, but we mesh well together. So that's that one. And then, believe it or not, I and my 4-year-old daughter drew this, or she's 5 now, my bad. We did that this morning. So this one, I would totally work this into some sleeves and then work with this maybe into a tunic or something like that. So that's what I do with painting, is I find it like a really good source for that. Also, I really love doing anything on, I'm like a sucker for all the Adobes. Like I'm just like constantly on my computer shifting around stuff. So I was looking at your guys' art too, and I'm like, oh, that would look like really dope as like a shirt or whatever. And it's been a pretty cool ride. The thing is that I've only been doing this since May. So I haven't really been doing it for a long time, and I've already I had an invitation for New York Fashion Week again for September, but I don't know how that's going to happen with all the stuff that's happening in New York right now. I have one that's coming up in Atlanta that had to be switched from June now to September, and that's like a really big streetwear vibe over there as well. So yeah, that's what I do. I get inspired every single day, and I'm constantly painting, and that's all I do. And I just do it, and then I try to shift it around, make it, manipulate it. That's what I love to do, is manipulate art. Also, what I also do with my fashion line is I take some type of clothing that sometimes it's from the thrift store, sometimes it's from like my own collection being like older, and then I'll just cut it up and I'll make it into something, and I'll make that into like one-offs that I have, so more couture lined. But yeah, that's what I do right now, and I'm really proud of it. My 5-year-old's like, it's too late, stop talking. Oh my gosh, it's right beside me. Anyways, so that's what I've been doing, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm a single mom, so for me, it's time is hard as well as I forgot who said it. Like
Stop clock.
Anna said it. I think it was Anna that said that how she does like things at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. It was another artist. But anyways,
5 a.m.
yeah. So what I do is I literally, it's like clockwork for me. I don't even have to set an alarm. I'm up by 2 o'clock, and I'm just creating things until like 5 o'clock. I get to sleep for another 2 hours, and then I'm off, right? But because of this whole like quarantine thing, I get to sleep a little bit more, but I am still waking up at 2 to 5. I can't help it. And I'm not even a night owl. I'm an early bird, guys. I love waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning, so it makes no sense to me. But I've been just doing this, and it's just been creating some really wicked art, and I've been getting like a lot of good feedback behind it. So yeah, I'm fresh to the scene, but I'm loving it right now, and I just love how people, like artists in general, really like to communicate it with each other, and networking is like on fire right now with this whole Zoom thing. But at the same time, like I just want to address what happened before with those people. It's sad that things like that happen, but at the end, somebody's tapping me. Yeah, hi. I'm gonna be quiet now. But anyways, yeah, so that's what I do.
Lovely.
See, mom life right here. That's what it is.
Yeah. Do you find right now with like, are you doing schoolwork with her? Are you doing like, do you have to set a set time for that? Do you find that like there's some kind of cool projects that she gets that you're like, I'm gonna try that too. Like this is a good opportunity.
That was the painting. I told you the one this morning that we did, right? So she saw me going over some other paintings that I didn't really feel. So then I painted them all black, or I painted them all white. And then she was like, you know what? Can we actually make this little one into like a purple, blue, and pink situation? And I was like, yeah, sure, we can make a sky. And then we came back to it today, and we painted that a couple of days ago. And then she was like, you know what? Let's go do circles, and then I can paint on it. And then when she was gone, I kind of made them into little flowers, and she loved it. And I was just like, it's so nice to just like create with her. But when it comes to this like online learning that they're doing right now, it only takes about an hour if you're diligent with it, and you can get it over with while they're eating lunch or something. So it's not that bad, but it's still like, you know, she's not used to what she right now, you can tell. But she's not used to doing like this non-structured lifestyle and not being able to go outside. You know what I mean? It's hard for her. So yeah, it's hard for everybody, right? Like I get a lot of inspiration from my music as well, and it's really hard for me that I can't go to my studio and I can't make music there or any of that stuff. So why not? You know, I bought a mic on Amazon the other day, and now I'm gonna just record at home. I'll do it. I'll be fine. But yeah, it's my co-host.
Can we ask a question for your daughter?
Oh yeah, go shoot. They want to talk to you. No.
She can tell you what she says. Maybe she can whisper.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering if she likes doing art as much as mom likes doing art. Do you like making art?
She said yes.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, it's just I find it like it's a really good way to just let them relax too, because mental health is going after these guys too, because she's constantly like, when can I talk to another child? You know what I mean? It's really hard, and we're quite lucky because, you know, like we live together so we can touch each other, right? Like for people that don't have that, and for her, because she doesn't have any other siblings, it's hard for her to comprehend why she can't see people. So with art, she can kind of like, sometimes she goes really ham on it, and then, you know, she's in a bad spot, so you have to, you know, work with finger painting and stuff. But hey, it comes with the job, right? So yeah. You good? Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Are there any questions?
No? You go.
Well, I just want to interject. The
Yeah.
outfit you're wearing, I would love to have that as a print for an evening gown.
Oh, I totally do that. All my stuff is custom, by the way, because it's like I'm the one who's creating it, right? And I sew as well, so I can sew in any because I do the one-offs, right? If you go on my website, if she'll let me, she's talking right there. Okay, so the thing is that on my website, I have the one-offs as well, and there's things, there's longer outfits than just sweatshirts. But yeah, it's like, look at it, check it out, see if you guys like anything. Hit me up if you want to do any customs. If you want to collab on a painting, that'd be great. I just love.
Also, if ever you need a model,
Dude, I'm down. I am down. I love, like, with me, I'm really like, I'm part of the LGBTQ community as well, so I'm constantly on Queen Street doing my thing, and I love seeing people that are in diverse communities and different ways. And my brand's really big thing is that I don't care how, I want the tallest person and I want the shortest person. I want plus size models. I want models that are petite. I want them all. I want everything, because being from Toronto, I see everything, and I want to make sure that I can see that. I'm I'm part of a interracial couple as well, right? So for me as well, it's like I have to think about when it comes to races as well, how the Black community is so underseen when it comes to fashion. Same with the what do you call it, South Asian community as well, Asian community as well. It's like everybody, right? The thing is that plus size models as well. I had a lot of plus size models on my first show, but again, I'm a brand new person. But I've just hit it, like, I've just gone like, I'm telling you guys, if you ever go to New York Fashion Week for something, that thing's crazy.
I'm from New York, so I know.
Oh, so that you know. And I probably know. You know what? I'll ask you in the. No, it's not. Okay. But anyways, I was gonna say, I met a lot of people in New York when I was there. So for sure, if you want to ever model, I'm down.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
That.
I'm really tall. I'm 6'4" out of heels.
That's good. That's good. It doesn't matter.
That's what this is all about, collaboration. So, any more questions? No? Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. So nice. What's your daughter's name?
Aria.
Aria. Hi, Aria.
Hi. Sorry, I have a question for Catta
Oh,
Lyst.
yeah, sure.
How do you do like straight to garment printing, or how do you create so quickly, or how do you?
Yeah, sometimes I do that. Sometimes I go straight in and I ask somebody to print for me.
Yeah.
Like what was it, 2019, the beginning, I got a disc herniation. Couldn't do anything. So I was like, I had to figure out I had to figure out how to do it, right? And I did a lot of things at what do you call it, at the Artscape, Daniel's Artscape.
Yeah.
So that place was awesome because you can literally like just print stuff right on your fabric and you're good, right? So I was doing that, but then I couldn't walk, right? So then I was just like, oh gosh. So then I had to figure out. So I have like I figured out with China, and I also figured out with the UK. So I'm really big on quality. So I had to go to heck with so many different like like you have your sample, right? And I was like, nope, not good enough, not good enough. And I was like, where are you people? So yeah, I found a really good brand, like a really good place in the UK that does it, and they're quick. So and now I'm starting to. It's about a year. It's about a year of rehab when it comes to that type of stuff. So now that I'm back, then we have this like COVID thing going on. So I'm like, I can't go to Artscape. So now I'm experimenting with actually just taking printing on the cloth and then going ahead and doing my patterns and then making my clothing.
Oh,
So
cool.
right now, because I can sew again. So I was like, yay, I can do this again. So yeah, so it's all over the place, because the thing is that sometimes you want to actually create art on the vintage piece too, right? So you go just straight onto like a jean jacket or something like that, or you make a piece like this, and sometimes I even combo. So I will go ahead and have a piece, right, that I was just like, you know what, that was a dress, but I actually think it would look better as a crop top. Let's do that. And then I'll go ahead and I'll get some new trims. I'm not trim, sorry. Border. I'll get a new border, and then I'll go ahead and make it. With me, when it comes to the vintage stuff that I redo, I love to do it with an Indian thought to it. So I'll go ahead and I'll do something. Sometimes it'll look like a sari. Sometimes it'll look like a lehenga. Sometimes it depends, north or south. My parents are from the north of India, but I'm born and raised in Toronto. So I'm just like how Sophie said, wherever she is or if she's gone. Oh no, she's right there. The thing is that when you're like somebody who's born here, but you also have a different culture as well, it's kind of you can't help it but to add that culture in there. I also do that with my music as well. Like I make sure that I always have some type of Punjabi element to it. And yeah, so sometimes I'll just take, she's so funny. Sometimes I'll just take cloths that are from an Indian supplier.
She's trying
from
to
here.
upstage you right now. You know that, right?
I know, like I'm just telling, like
she's
this
trying
girl.
She's trying to derail everything, and she's almost succeeding.
she's fine, but I swear I made a mini me. I understand my mom now, and she like laughs at me so hard. She's like, "This is you." Like, I'm like, great. She looks nothing like her dad. But anyways, so the thing is that at the end of the day, I really like to like even take fabrics that are fully embroidered, and then I'll just throw paint on them, or I'll make some type of really cool thing. Oh, almost shut the laptop. Oh, there you go. She's yeah.
That sounds cool.
Just a finger now, guys. Okay.
Aren't we?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Please put your Instagram.
Yeah, definitely want to check.
Yeah.
We've been gradually following people along the way as we've been watching the chat. So I've been jumping on and following. So, oh my God. Okay, upstage complete. That's a success right there.
Right,
you have been successfully upstage.
Hi, Catta.
So much.
Yay for the next gen artist. Get in there.
All right. So now I hope that my list is correct. Are we now ready for Melanie?
Let's get rid of this one.
Is
We're gonna
Melanie?
lose this one.
Can anyone hear me?
Melanie was here. Let me see. Because I saw her video pop up.
How do I get out of here? Exit.
Doo-doo-doo.
Okay, so, well, I guess we can move on to the next person. Michael?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's, oh boy, I hope I do not screw this name up. Eman Gil?
Oh.
Wow.
Whoa.
Hello?
Hi, Eman.
It's artwork about love by artist Eman Jot Gil.
Wait, where are you?
I think a couple of people don't realize their cameras are like pointing above their heads.
Belly Dancing by Melanie. No, so it's Melanie Mel.
It just says Melanie.
Up for the belly dancing.
Yeah. Is she here?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, and you don't want me to do it.
I can do it.
Try. Try. What's the harm in trying?
No, I thought she was here, but I guess not. So let me see who's up next.
I'm probably butchering their name.
Gil, Showcase.
Gil.
That's actually me. Amanjo Gill is Catta Lyst.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Oh,
you were on the list, and it was actually a sort of fun time.
It's okay. You gave away my alias, so it's.
Okay. So how about our Pakistani Canadian visual artist Eman Bhatti? Eman?
Okay. Wow.
I guess we lost a couple of people.
Yeah. There are some people. I don't know. There are some people trying to get in, but I've been so I've been so scared to accept people. So I'm sending them messages saying, "Hey, who is this?"
Okay. How about fine artist Stefano Bove? Or Bove? Stefano?
Make Maggie Chang.
I'm sorry?
Maggie Chang. Let's get Maggie Chang to perform.
Hi, I'm here.
Okay. Hi, Maggie.
Hi.
Let's see. Why is it? I think you forgot to send me the updated list.
Don't worry. Let's get Maggie Chang to perform.
Okay.
Like there are some people that just didn't show up, and yeah.
Okay.
Maggie Chang.
Everyone, welcome Maggie Chen. Hi. So I think I might be the only poet here now. Yeah, so my art is primarily through writing. I started doing kind of like fiction writing when I was 12. And then I started going into like spoken word mostly and other poetry as a teen. And I also started to do some photography because I wrote this line for an artist bio for a thing and it sounds really pretentious, but I also really like it. I said, I really like the way a photograph can make the mundane look magical. Yeah, so that's me. And let me just bring up like my little intro so I don't forget to say what I wanted to say. So I was born in Wuhan. My family is from there. And these days, there's a lot of weight that comes from saying that. And I've gotten some really interesting firsthand experience with this pandemic from both sides. At the end of January, I wrote about that. I wrote about Wuhan and the anti-Chinese racism that's still happening. And it ended up being this big long poem called Wuhan is More Than the Coronavirus. And it's really exciting because I actually have the time to do the entire thing. This is the first time I've actually been able to perform it to like a group. So I will be doing that piece, and then I'm going to finish with a poem titled Life and Endings, because I think it's a really like pretty one about in-betweens, and it's both hopeful and melancholy, and I feel like it's really relevant to this time. So without further ado, this is Wuhan is More Than the Coronavirus. It's also really interesting to see how different things are from January, when coronavirus is mostly still in just in China at this time, and now it's kind of come here, and it's a different process. But yeah, if I can just take you on a journey a little bit back. It's a special kind of grief to watch your home suffering from afar. I haven't thought of Wuhan as home in a long time. Don't feel like I can claim it as mine. I was born there, yes, but I have lived there for less than 10% of my life. And yet, now, particularly, I feel the way the blood of family and history tie me irrevocably to that city of 11 million people. So I want to name that it hurts hearing about the coronavirus in China, seeing videos of the streets so bare when I know that what they are supposed to look like. That is where I am from. The city where I'm from. Its name stamped as birthplace on my Canadian passport, a piece of my Chinese identity I have not been forced to lose. I need to share about how I feel a double, maybe triple burden. Not only do I need to be concerned for myself and my family, many of whom are so much closer in proximity to the outbreak than here in Canada, but also stigma, the fear mongering and victim blaming and xenophobic racism that is this time pointedly directed at me. The callous, they deserve it, and they are disgusting. And why are they allowed to come that make hashtags like Chinese are people too necessary? How somehow now it makes sense for 11 million people and who knows how many more diaspora to be painted with one critical brush. I know you are afraid for yourselves, your family. I am asking you to have compassion for mine. And of course, some people behaved irresponsibly, but most are just regular folk doing the best with what they know, trying to get home, to see their family. For many, they can only do that this time of year, Lunar New Year. Reunite with big festivities for the biggest celebration of our people, but this holiday, there are quiet spaces where joy should be. Empty homes that should have been full to the brim, celebration taken by virus. For many, this virus is all you know of the place I am from. How painful, how mundane. Because how could there be a way for us to know something about every place? But maybe that's not how it needs to be. Maybe when we see tragedy, we should also remember that this is not all there is, that Wuhan is more than the coronavirus. We are a meeting place of North and South, often talked about as having some of the best food in China, dumplings and noodles from the North and sweet white rice from the South, all congregate here. How we built a bigger, better subway system than Toronto's in 4 years, how the very first bullet train in the country was from Wuhan. So can we please stop always painting China in such a negative light? 6 days to build a hospital is authoritarian, right? Not innovative or courageous or wow, that's leadership, like we'd say if this was in Canada, like Canada could ever pull that off. Can we not say, hey, how extraordinary that millions of people are taking it as seriously as it should be, good-naturedly doing their part and putting their lives on pause to stop spread? Because again, it's people living their lives just trying to get by. Not everything you're not used to is crude. You're used to plenty that Chinese people would never do. Yes, the government has done terrible things, but that information is also often presented from the eyes of a racist lens. And besides, it's not fair to only talk about the bad. Villainize until you can no longer empathize with the people because of the government. Villainize until you no longer empathize because of propaganda, erasing history so it seems like a bigger crime to try to go see family than conquest, deliberately infecting indigenous peoples with smallpox. We are people. We shouldn't have to be perfect to be treated with compassion. I don't have to prove my lovability, my humanity, my just like you-ness, get your approval to let me exist. We don't need to be perfect. Don't have to earn basic human decency. It's what we deserve for being people. It's what everything deserves. Outbreak hit us this time, but we are breaking out of the boxes your racism puts us in. Thank you.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thanks so much.
Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Awesome.
Okay, and now I'm going to move on to a nice, pretty, happier one. And on like on a happy note. This one is called Life and Endings. I wrote it at the maybe the last day of August in 2017. It was about just watching summer end. And feeling how that was symbolic of where I was in my life. It was, I was like about to go back to school, and all these things were happening. Sorry, I just need some water. And yeah, I went on a run and saw this beautiful sunset, and it just felt like beautiful. It was just so gorgeous. And I went home and I wrote this poem in like 2 or 3 hours. This is Life and Endings. I emerge from my home to a sky of indigo violet. It is the in-between of sunset and dusk. And something about the air feels full. It is crisp when it was once warm, the light dimming when it was once bright, and that brings with it a reminder of the crinkling leaves that will soon be underfoot. An oval moon hangs gleaming in the midst of that indigo sky that screams possibility. Is a promise of cycles, of change, of constant return, but each time never quite being the same. I begin to run. The twin soreness in the center of my legs reminds me that I meant to rest them, to tease out the strength of my body another way. But I see how that violet swirls into fuchsia, into gold, and I know today I will chase the sky. The air feels like it is full of life and endings. The first time I said that, I thought it was the feeling of the dawn of springtime. But now I see it is the feeling of being at a precipice, of being at the in-between of an ending and a beginning, of loss and hope. You feel the sweetest melancholy because you're both mourning what is past and looking forward for what is to be. It was an in-between time in my life when I first felt life and endings fill the air, just like it is now. So I run back in time to green fields, hopscotch, and the playground with that red swirly slide I love so much. I head for the spot I have learned is the perfect sunset lookout. Just a few more steps. But already I can see it is everything. The sky is alight. All at once, I feel the colors fill me, and standing there with my lungs burning and my legs aching and the beginning of a cold tickling my throat. It is so beautiful, it hurts. The painting before me is masterfully crafted, blended onto the world's largest canvas, and to take one step toward it is to be one step closer to the infinite. I don't step toward it, I run. The path takes me past the colors to homes and towering trees and a dog barking in the distance, to a bird fluttering across my vision looking like a shadow come alive, to a plane moving both lazily and fast as time, taking people to the rest of their lives. And I realized this will be my last run at home this summer. Already, I saw 3 maples beginning to bear. With leaves half red, they shed the skin that they wore. They show their truth until they choose something new for next year. When I reach my lookout for the second time, the reds of the painting cling to the canvas like a dying breath over my childhood school. How did this happen so quickly? Time come to separate me from girl, from carefree playing on the swings, to woman. Growing up doesn't mean you have to lose yourself. I said I wished I could tell a younger me. We say the end of life is a loss, but what of life itself? Growing up, I lost my ignorance and the life of that girl in pigtails, and the life of the girl with a ponytail, and the life of the girl with hair highlights. She was me, but I will never be her again. And soon, the life of the girl this summer will be lost to me too. They say winter is barren and dead, but that makes autumn a time of dying. There is magnificence in both life and endings, and it is a sweet melancholy being at these in-betweens. It aches in a way that is beautiful. Summer is dying, but it feels like it is time for my life to begin again. And to my surprise, I feel ready. Thank you.
So good.
Beautiful, thank you.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Amazing, Maggie.
So, does anyone have any questions?
Can you give us a minute to formulate the questions before moving on? If that's okay? Just
Okay.
because that was so powerful. I want to hear more.
Do you have one more?
Do you want more?
Yes, that's a good question. My question is, can we have one more? Can we get another more?
Okay, but you're gonna have to give me like a theme or something because I have a lot of poetry.
A lot of poems. Okay, indoor spaces and the fact that they're closing in on you and you're in a parking. No, indoor spaces.
Indoor spaces. Here, wait. Let me tell you my the kind of the topics of my poems. So I have one called English, and that's about the limitations of language, and I also dive in a lot with my experience as a Chinese Canadian. I have one called Feminist Badass. There's one called Feminist Killjoy. That one's really funny.
That one.
Yeah, concur.
All right, okay. Let's do Feminist Killjoy. I wrote this poem because I thought it was so fascinating how like comedians and other feminists who are funny, how they get you to laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh while they are very brutally insulting you. Oops. And I kind of wanted to explore humor and the power of humor. And I think it really is very powerful because I feel like it's one way to really get through to people, to really speak to people, to have them kind of let go of discomfort or move them past discomfort so they're able to move better into action. So this is like a satirical poem. 10 reasons why it is so terrible knowing a feminist killjoy. Bracket. It's so hard. 1. Say goodbye to jokes. There are no jokes that will escape a feminist killjoy's wrath. Rape, stalking, assault, none of that is allowed to be funny. I don't get it at all. Really dangerous behavior that literally gets people killed? Why isn't that hilarious? What even is there to laugh about anymore? Cats? Literally anything that doesn't harm people? 2. They tell us sexual harassment is wrong, but it's so hard to figure out what that is. It's not like I can listen, look for body language, hear out that moral compass that says this is not respectful, or try to imagine how I would feel in the other person's place.
What just happened?
Oh, I think it was probably somebody in the background and they were unmuted.
Oh no.
Oh, good. Okay. I'll do 2. I'll start 2 again. 2. They tell us sexual harassment is wrong, but it's so hard to figure out what that is. It's not like I can listen, look for body language, hear out that moral compass that says this is not respectful, or try to imagine how I would feel in the other person's place. Or, look up one of the thousands of resources on the internet. 3. Being asked to be thoughtful. What? They're asking me to actually consider my words before speaking? And act thoughtfully too? It's so much work. I mean, sure, not being thoughtful means I might be disrespectful, cut people off from opportunities they deserve, or blatantly dehumanize them, which doesn't happen to be the key first step of genocide, but that's not so bad, right? I, after all, don't understand what it is to be afraid I'll end up stabbed when someone yells something about my butt at me on the street and I ignore them because I'm an actual person with dreams and ideas instead of just a body part for their pleasure. The compliment, after all, right? 4. They are so offended and angry all the time. What right do they have to ruin my pretty little life and make me uncomfortable? It is also totally irrelevant that I'm the one yelling with visceral rage, not them. And sure, I'm more angry at them than about the systems that create inequality. So what? 5. They are a threat to my free speech. With feminist killjoys around, I can't say whatever I want without consequences. Sure, I only show up for white supremacists. Anti-transphobia and anti-discrimination are speech too. And like the point of free speech is that you won't get thrown into jail or killed for saying your opinion and not being able to say whatever you want without social consequence. But god damn it, I have a mouth with words. Anything I want to say should have a platform. I mean, what is the harm of someone running into a cancer lab and yelling at everyone to stop because you don't believe in cancer or coronavirus? Why can't I destroy all sorts of social progress and dehumanize or objectify a person? 6. Having to acknowledge that different people can experience the same things differently. What do you mean my perspective isn't the center of the universe? You're saying I shouldn't make everything revolve around me? That I should center someone else sometimes? Unthinkable. 7. Challenging norms and questioning what we've always been told. Who do feminist killjoys think we are anyway? That's the job of those spoken word poets and social scientists. Us folk who know the society that only values STEM is the way to go understand we shouldn't bother to put our energies into revising society because obviously revising the iPhone is so much more important. I'd much rather see productivity as in iPhone 100 as well as 100S, S for short-sighted, 100I for inequality, and N for no humanity. How dare you even insinuate you are as valuable as new technology? In fact, I'll get 8 iPhone 100s, 2 each of the 100, 100S, 100I, and 100N to match with all of my outfits. Who cares about the people overseas who are probably literally living in slavery to make it for me? It's much better to continue perpetrating unfair hierarchies and just live with the status quo. I mean, sometimes it's uncomfortable being squashed into a box that doesn't quite fit me, and I feel pushed to burnout because all that matters is productivity, and I feel isolated because I'm told I need to step on people to claw my way to the top. And yeah, that means sometimes I'm stepped on too. But none of that compares to the horror of thinking. I mean, why would my precious innovation need a fair, equal, just society and prospering, healthy planet? It's not like inequality hinders STEM. We don't need society for STEM to thrive. Wait, what? Anyway, I'm happy being a she. It's awful how feminist killjoys ask me to think for myself. Of course I'll cross the road with my fellow sheep, so what if a car is coming? Because 8, they make me have long, meaningful conversations about intersectionality. You see, feminist killjoys can't just be feminist killjoys, they have to be intersectional ones too. I'm Asian. Why would I want different experiences to be considered? I mean, the first airbags killed women and children because all male teams didn't think about different body sizes. Why are different perspectives important? And I don't want to think about disability rights and how more money is put into screening for Down syndrome than for improving the lives of people living with it. 9, they make me work toward being a better person. But then I might realize that we don't have to be like literally terrible to act in a racist, sexist, homophobic, or otherwise oppressive way. I don't want to understand that my brain is biased and I can actually train it not to be. Why would I want to make my brain better when it is so much fun living with injustice that just hurts me in one way or another? Right? But 10. The most terrible thing about knowing a feminist killjoy is that they show us just how joyless all of these things are. Thank you.
I have
That's so good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Would that list work better backwards? Just a thought.
Yeah, maybe. I wrote it to be
I mean, as in the numbers, everything that you said, if you did it number 1 as number 10.
Oh.
And, yeah. So that would be the ending, is the number 1 would be, yeah. Just
interesting. Yeah, that's super cool. Thank you. That's really interesting to think about.
So, anyone?
I'm really just glad that you chose to share that one with us as well. Thank you.
I did have a little bit of words prepared for the end of life and endings, just because I wanted to say some nice things and explain a little bit about what I hoped that poem would make you feel, because I want to kind of acknowledge that things are really strange and uncertain right now, and maybe you feel okay, maybe you feel like your life is on pause, and maybe things have been really hard, but however you've been coping, I'm proud of you, and you are ready to make it through this. And I think this is the part where I make a shameless plug. So on Facebook, Instagram, and my blog, you can find me at See the Way Maggie Sees, and I'll drop the links and stuff in the chat. Twitter is the only one that thought my brand was too long, so there I'm See the Way MCs. And actually, I have this really exciting thing that I don't know if you'll be interested in, but I thought I'd share. So my birthday is at the end of April, and it's most definitely going to be quarantined, which is fine. It's really important that we're all like standing in solidarity with each other to protect each other. But I wanted to do something kind of fun to instead of what I wanted to do, which was go to karaoke and scream Taylor Swift's song 22 because I'm I'm turning 22. So what I thought I'd do instead is start something I'm going to be calling the 22 birthday challenge, or 22 with Taylor's 22. And basically I want to ask people to send me a video of them doing some kind of dance move with 22 playing in the background. And I'm going to be like counting this down on my social media, and like eventually I'll just edit the video into one, and I'll just post it. And hopefully we'll be able to like uplift somebody with this fun video of us just dancing and having fun to 22 in quarantine. So I'll drop all my social media links, and you can message me or email me or whatever if you're interested. I would be really, really glad if you would, or even if you would be happy to help me spread the message on social media, I would be so grateful. I'm planning on like putting a post up tomorrow at noon and just like blasting everything and getting my friends to all share and stuff like that. So if that is interesting to you, I would be very, 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 very grateful. Thank you for having me.
Out of curiosity, what date is your birthday?
Oh, it's April 28th.
Ah, okay. Right. I'm celebrating something on April 30th. So I was like, oh, interesting. My husband and I, we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, so
Congratulations.
April, the end of April is a special time.
Yes.
So are there any other questions or no? Okay. Michael, you have control over the board, so you can tell me who's still here.
Oh, I think it's me next.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hi.
Eman is up next.
Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah. Eman?
Yes, yeah, there were a couple of Emans, so which is unusual.
All right, so we are about to witness award-winning acrobatic by Eman.
Hi. Hi. So I am a circus performer and pole dancer. I've actually got behind me my lollipop lyra, which is a hybrid between like an aerial hoop and a pole. So it's a hoop that is supported from the ground up, and it looks like a lollipop. So I'll be performing on that today to my good friend Serafina Violins piece, her like original music. I hope you guys can hear it well. And yeah, without further ado, I'm actually gonna get my partner to hit play for me. So yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Wow, that was amazing.
Wow.
Thank you. I hope you guys can hear me too, and it wasn't cutting out. Yeah, so I own a studio in Leslieville that was impacted by COVID-19. So my partner and I own a physical conditioning and rehab space dedicated to circus artists and dancers, located inside of a large circus school called Studio Flux. So we've all been closed due to COVID-19, but we run some classes right now via Zoom. So I will drop those links in the chat if you want to check it out.
Yeah. Take your time. Leave. You just had an amazing performance.
Yeah, very good, Eman.
Thank you.
All right,
So let me leave that there if you'd like to check us out.
Yeah.
When we reopen, hopefully soon. Yeah. I don't know if anyone has any questions.
What a performance.
Thank you. Thank you.
How long have you been doing it for?
I have been doing circus for 3 years now. I actually was a graphic designer. I went to OCAD. I was a fine artist most of my life. And I started working at an agency that actually took over Walnut. I know you guys were talking about that. We were on Niagara. The last agency I worked for was Nourish Food Marketing, and we took over, I think, one of the Walnut buildings. And I got laid off, and I decided to pursue circus and dance full time. I've competed, won a couple titles. I performed for Snoop Dogg across Ontario. If you've ever been to Laval, I was their resident performer 3 days a week for over a year, up until COVID-19 happened. And, or if you've ever been to Rebel, that was actually where I started working. So yeah, I do a ton of like weddings and corporate events. And I also own a studio space. So yeah.
Were you always that flexible before you started circus?
No, I actually, I was not flexible at all, and I still consider myself pretty inflexible.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I thought always like you have to start young to be in the circus, no?
You know, that's what they say, but I think it, like any art form, like it's like the 10,000 hour rule, right? So you put those hours in, like you put the time in. It's obviously like easier, like the younger that you start. I don't have a dance or a gymnastics background, but I'm very competitive, and I was an artist, and I understand that like the time that you have to put into your craft. So yeah, it's really just like the hours and the time, and that's why I left my job too, because I wanted to like be able to put the time in, and that's kind of why we opened the studio, was so that we could train. And then we moved here where I could like set up all of my equipment and hang it all up. And I don't know, it was a little bit of a risky endeavor, but
did you ever injure yourself or fall during practice?
tons of times. This is my partner, Austin Norris. He's actually an RMT. And he fixes me up pretty often. I'll also drop his link in the chat, and I'll drop the links to my like Instagram and stuff. But yeah, I've torn my hamstring off the bone like that much from having a grown man sit on me in a split. I've injured my shoulder because in pole you do a lot of this, which naturally you don't grab anything like this, right? So it's super and then we put a lot of weight on like the one shoulder, so you're pulling and then you're pushing into the bottom arm. So this is super unnatural, and it causes a lot of problems in your shoulder later down the line. So so yeah, I've injured my shoulder, I've injured my hamstring, I've injured my knee, but it's all worth it. And I have someone who can kind of mend me, and that was sort of the idea behind circular motion and stuff too, is that there are a lot of circus performers and dancers that are injured and that could use prehab and like rehab like classes, like, and kind of a routine that they could use to prevent injuries later down the line, or prevent hip replacements, or you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything that you like would recommend? Not that I am not an athlete, but is there anything that you would recommend for people, just as like when people come in and they talk to you and they say, what can I do to improve my sort of overall health and make sure that I prevent injuries? Is there a baseline where you say like, hey, in order to get healthy, start here? Like,
you have any recommendations?
Yeah. So I'm a really big fan of a French osteopathic movement therapy system called Aldoa, and it's basically a active stretching system where you're using all the strength in your body against all of the tension in your body along very specific lines of myofascial pull to create traction in your joints. So it's very similar effects as like having a manual therapist decompress your joints or being on an inversion table, except you're using the strength in your own body against tension in your body to balance out that tension and create more space. So it's a really great system for neutralizing your posture and neutralizing tension imbalances throughout the body. So it gives you a really good foundation to work from. Because, you know, if you go into the gym and you're lifting weights, or if you take up calisthenics or acrobatics or dance or whatever it may be, you're going to be relying on a lot of the compensation patterns that you're accustomed to. So Aldoa kind of gives you an opportunity to create a balanced foundation to then work from. So that's something we use a lot with our performing artists. I use it a lot with professional ballet and circus because they tend to get a lot of compression-based injuries from a lot of jumping, high impact, that sort of activity, but it's really good for everybody. So we have those at Circular Motion, and we host those regularly. We have them on, we're doing our Zoom classes with some Aldoa, I believe on Mondays at 7:15, and I believe it's 12 p.m. on Saturdays. So that's something to maybe check out. Yeah.
very cool. Thank you. I'm sorry I asked like a for me question instead of a complimentary question, because that was so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I don't even know where to start with. I am curious actually because to me, you look like you've been doing that forever. How did you go from sort of like a novice level to like, what were your first steps to get there?
I actually started, and you probably, if you're from Toronto, you like probably know the studio. I started at Brass Vixens doing pole, and they had like the Lyra, the aerial hoop program, and yeah, I like kind of walked into my first class, and I was like, I'm gonna be the best at this thing. And yeah, and then I honestly like I kind of like lived at the studio. I was living in like a really tiny like bachelor apartment where I was pretty much like sleeping in my kitchen, and I didn't want to go home, so I would like go to work 9 to 5, and then I would run to the studio and I would spend like the next 4 hours there or whatever. And I just like I took a lot of classes, and then I think I was training for about like 4 months, and I decided I was going to start applying to like, you know, some like professional jobs, like maybe go-go dancing or something. I didn't really know what I was like applying for. And I ended up working at Rebel. And because I was like working every Saturday and I was like performing and I was expected to like do tricks for like 20 minutes at a time, it helped me get stronger, but it also like motivated me to like go train more because I was like, I was actually getting work, and yeah, and I don't know, it's really like it's really about the time that you put in, right? So it's the time, and then I was looking for any opportunity to perform really at that point. So any gig that I could find, like I would take it. And then I bought this stage, and I bought the lollipop actually because it was like at the time it was very new and no one was really making them, and I like found a manufacturer, like someone who was welding them in South Carolina, and I was like, it's super portable, I love the idea of it. So I spent like $3,000 and got it like shipped here from the United States, and because I was like kind of the first one to have it, like it started doing really well and it was like selling really well. So yeah, I don't know. I hopped around to every single studio and I took every single gig that I could like possibly take because I know that I started late in life, and I like know that my time as a circus artist is a lot shorter than people who have started when they were like 3. So yeah, that's kind of my story. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know, it became more of an obsession. It kind of like took over my life. So yeah,
I mean, that's amazing though. Like I'm sure there were people who are like naysayers, and then they're like, you know what I mean? And then you were like, well, you haven't been doing this for this long, and this is like all those things. And you're like, no, I'm gonna buy a studio. I'm gonna like get this. I'm gonna promote it. I'm gonna be awesome at it. That's it's very inspiring. I love it.
I think like, and I know it's like kind of cheesy to be like, follow your dreams, and if you really want to do something, then you can do it. Like really, like if you like realistically anything that you want to pick up, like you can absolutely pick it up. It's just the time that you have to put into it. Like so, I know it sounds like kind of cheesy and like whatever, but I also think that my background in the arts really did help me get there. I was like a graphic designer for years, and like my experience at OCAD and stuff like that, it did really help me like to learn how to sell myself and to think like an artist. Like you still have to think it's like it's the same thinking, right? So and like to be successful in like what you do, like you have to be able to sell yourself and put yourself out there, right? And like as artists, that's like a thing that we know all too well. So I think my background in the fine arts really did help me take this and turn it into a reality, you know? So yeah. Cool. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. If anyone else has any questions, let me know. You can also like DM us or like send us a message.
Yeah, if you want to know how to get started with Circus.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit happening in Toronto with a nice little community. Not quite like Montreal, but there are things happening for sure. So.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you. That was amazing. So wish the club. All right. So I don't think if there's any, is there anyone left on the list?
Oh, that's most of us, eh?
Huh?
Yeah, that's most of us. We went from 22, we had 22 viewers, we're now at 12 viewers. I suppose that we went up. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing the event.
Jade.
Sharing your art and
That was a
sharing your
good
story.
first event. It was a good first event.
Yeah. This was amazing. Like I learned a lot. Like I was playing around the YouTube because it didn't stay up. Just because of the hackers, when they said the N word and all that stuff, we got kicked out of the YouTube. But that's fine. Everything else we learned. I learned a lot. Like I want to host another one on the 15th, and I would love for all of you guys to be part of it, and we can just work on making this a dope production and something dope for our guests to come out. What I also do is moving forward is I'll start to make postcards. I'll start to make the merchandise for this event. So like a lot of the art that you sent in, I'll convert it into merchandise, and I'll start to make that available on the website. And I'll also make the video. So like this video, I'll chop it up into pieces about 10 minutes each, and I'll post it on YouTube with your links going back to you, so that anybody that's watching can see like who the performer was, what they have to sell, and what their websites are. And that's the goal, right? Like, if you think, like YouTube is a new frontier for us, this is like, you're part of something amazing. Like, as artists, you are part of a new frontier, and I would love for you to come back for the next one, so that we have like we can set up like a more amazing show, like where we have like performers, like we balance it out a little bit better, like with more performers. That way, like we can be entertained while we're here.
Well, I've
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
and I could probably help you. I used to so I can get you some live performers, like singers, musicians. So I'll ask around.
Yeah, nice.
I'm just chirping out. I've been drawing people. Do you guys want to see?
Yeah, please.
I'm just gonna flip my thing around so I can see what I'm doing. And if you don't like your picture, I'm sorry. You were all moving around so quickly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
I noticed you doing something in a notebook.
Yeah.
Video.
Whoa.
Cool, man.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Right, and so for future ones, we can do things on this level. Like we can work on our artwork. I like the networking that we did. Like we're working on, we networked, and like this is like an amazing opportunity to have. So yeah, anybody else want to add or anything? Any questions?
I have yet another question. Does anyone know how to grab the chat? I didn't like write down anyone's information or anything. Does that automatically get sent to you at the end of things, or?
You know what? I don't know. So what I'm gonna do quickly is I'm gonna copy and paste everything.
There's an
Can you send that
option to save
us?
chat. And
There's an option?
Yeah, it's giving an option to save chat, and I just saved it.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Got saved.
Chat
Maybe it's saved to the history of this meeting or something.
Save chat. Okay, I see it.
You see it? Yeah.
Show in folder.
Oh no.
Yeah, meeting save chat. I'll send it I'll send it back out.
Okay.
Here it is. So if you look in the chat room now, that's the chat log.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that saves me a lot of trouble. I was like, I'm gonna have to go back through all these hours of footage. Like, it's funny because I was trying to cut it into pieces, but then I'm noticing that it actually still recorded. Like, even though I stopped the recording, it's still recorded into one file. So I have like a 4 gigabyte file. Right? But it's okay. Wow, yeah, this is an amazing event. YouTube is a huge frontier. It's something that I want to be part of, and allow us to monetize. And we can do so much more. We can do poetry. We can do music. You know, you can show off your artwork. You can perform. You know, you can perform for the event. And you know, like it's basically art. And let's make it an art show for the people. And in the meantime, what I'll do on every move that I make from now on moving forward is just always about adding new, getting the YouTube channel to go up so that by the time we start to do, so that eventually revenue just starts to come in easily.
Cool.
Great. Well,
great job, everybody, tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you,
Awesome
everyone.
stuff. And thank you for
Thank you.
organizing this. It's amazing.
Thank you.
So, before we go, can I do one shameless plug since everyone else did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can look me up. It's very easy to find me. It's Jade Elektra, but it's Elektra with a K. So it's ELEKTRA. And if you Google me, you'll find me on Instagram. You'll find me on Facebook. I have a single that's dropping tomorrow out of New York on Underground Records called Falling. So I'm excited about that. And I'm working on some projects of some stuff that hopefully will manifest to help this event as well.
Cool. Right on.
Very nice to meet everyone.
Yeah,
you
very
too.
nice to meet
Yeah.
everyone.
Bye,
Thank you
everyone.
all. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a
Michael.
good night, everybody.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
Ari. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Bye.
Have a good night, guys. Hey, Michael, how's it going?
I'm good.
It's good to connect with you this way. I haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah. So you're actually in my studio now. So
I'm what, sorry?
no, this is my studio. So I usually just work out of
This
here.
is my apartment machine. I could do a little write-up on this, try and get people from CSI to come out to the next thing if you want at some point.
Yeah, if you want, that would be no problem. On the 15th, like so, the
Well,
next one is
just suggesting that they come to it, right? But yeah,
Yeah,
I'll let you go. It was good connecting with you, and we'll talk soon. Take it easy. Have a good night.
You too. Take care.
See you, buddy. Bye.